Good day, everyone. My name is Takuji Dai, and I am the Project General Manager of the new model, Forester. These days, many manufacturers are getting into the SUV segment, of which the Forester is a part, and making themselves known around the world. Given that situation, we developed the new Forester with a view to giving everyone around the world looking for such a vehicle the kind of authentic option you would expect of Subaru, loaded with the intrinsic value an SUV has. Here, I would like to show you just a bit about how we approached developing the new Forester. Development of the new Forester began by checking with our own eyes how people use SUVs and listening to what their owners had to say. What do you want from an SUV? What do you like about the Forester? Where does the Forester come up short? In doing our extensive surveys, the direction we had to take became clear. Many of the people who choose an SUV pick the one that is going to be the partner they can rely on for actively enjoying their lives. The concept that the design team drew from this fact was one that combined fun, safety and reliability, and high quality. The goal was for a design that not only offers a spectacular exterior, but also embodies the essence of an SUV that brings brightness into the lifestyle of its owner. Design studios from Japan, the US, and Europe gave their proposals based on this concept. We examined them from a variety of angles, debated them repeatedly, and made modifications. When whatever issue got to weighing us down, we went back to the concept. After reviewing that work over and over, the design moved from the drafting board to mock-up. We then polished the design of the new Forester so it would both express the power you would expect of an SUV and express the refined Subaru identity. One of the features of the Forester capturing its essence is that it has a design that pays thorough attention to the quality of its visibility. We made it a priority to maintain that superb visibility with the newest model as well. By setting the hip point higher as you'd expect in an SUV and adjusting the position of the front pillar and the shape of the instrument panel, we achieved visibility with this model that provides clear, commanding views in all directions and makes driving easy. We put particular emphasis on how well a driver could see a 1-meter tall pole. The situation we had in mind was a small child somewhere near the car. There is no excuse for failing to notice someone even from an SUV, a type of vehicle that tends to be tall and have many blind spots. We also paid considerable attention to the way that scenery reflects on the hood. This is because the shape of SUVs is such that the driver is looking down the hood, and so any glare that enters the person's field of vision while they're driving can interfere with their view and cause undue stress. To achieve these things, we reviewed the design over and over to search out the best answers. Furthermore, we proactively enhanced the aerodynamic performance for improved fuel efficiency by adjusting the styling. All of these various features were incorporated in the design of the Forester. Our goal for the interior was to produce a high-quality, comfortable space in which everyone on board would feel a sense of enjoyment and peace of mind. Using the dependability and sense of security that comes from an SUV, we were extremely fastidious about tailoring every aspect of the interior as well as minute detail to ensure the car provides the pleasure that comes from ownership. We used materials of soft texture in areas within the reach of the driver and passengers to ensure an enjoyable and a comfortable ride for a long period of time. Furthermore, we closely inspected the seat fabric and the thread in the stitching in our quest for a greater sense of satisfaction and a superior feel. The interior design produced through these efforts creates a space that is comfortable and stylish to look at, where the power and superior qualities of a SUV permeate the entire cabin. Subaru's all-wheel drive system is a symmetrical type system with a left-right layout centered on a compact horizontally opposed engine that has a low center of gravity. The new Forester likewise employs this system with its superior weight balance, resulting in tall SUV that offers excellent maneuverability. We ran the system hard during the development process in our quest for ideal drive performance. Why is that more than a few people feel dissatisfied when they're driving SUVs? It's because SUVs with their big and tall bodies are handicapped in terms of maneuverability, ride comfort, and fuel economy. Our design team honed the Forester with the goal of creating a vehicle that has a ride with a good feel that will not make drivers feel those dissatisfactions. Since SUVs are tall vehicles, they cannot avoid having a high center of gravity. The sense of their unsteadiness at high speeds and the considerable tilt they exhibit when cornering are due to that high center of gravity. By installing flat, horizontally opposed engines in even lower positions, we here at Subaru have succeeded in lowering the overall center of gravity of our vehicles and greatly diminished the unstable elements. We developed the new model Forester by re-examining the construction from the ground up to take advantage of that potential that is present in a Subaru. We set lofty goals for the new model Forester, aiming to take the already secure feeling right up to new heights and boost ride comfort further. Stability, so it does not shake even when traveling at high speeds. The secure feeling from the body not tilting more than necessary, even in curves. And the graceful flexibility such that riders will not sense discomfort, even when going over bumps. To achieve all of those goals at the highest level, our test drivers made repeated runs to evaluate the effects of the drive on their bodies. Feedback about improvements went to the design team, countermeasures implemented, and the vehicles tested again. We were totally uncompromising when it came spending the time and developing specialized components those countermeasures required. Improving maneuverability is also connected to improving performance in avoiding hazards. Drivers safely avoid obstacles that suddenly appear in front of them with a quick turn of the wheel. When performing such an action with a tall SUV, faster the speed is, more dangerous the situation becomes. However, we attained top-of-class performance with the new Forester, even in testing that assumed the third-party hazard avoidance tests carried out in North America and Europe. During the development process, we aggressively did drives not only on test tracks, but also on roads around the world. In North America, Australia, and Eurasia, from highways to the suburbs, and sometimes on dirt roads, the appearance of an ordinary road varies. The real world itself is the biggest proving ground. We drove as much as time would permit on a variety of roads and collected a lot of data. Local staffs also took the wheels of new model Foresters for the first time and escorted our test runs. Their impressions were likewise valuable as reference points. The testing program also included test drives that took into account how people live and use their cars in the various locales. This accumulation of real-world testing would groom the Forester into a real SUV. The data we collected in the test drives was put to thorough use in development later. One of those uses was to improve ride comfort. Bumps, joints, repaired spots, even roads that appear flat at first glance may not be. We used our data to recreate those road conditions with our testing equipment. We made detailed confirmation of the vibrations whose frequencies made drivers sense something was sticking up or that felt unpleasant, and then came up with improvements to thoroughly eliminate them. Anyone who will ride the new Forester will notice the high-quality ride comfort the car has to offer. That is something we achieved through these tests. All-wheel drive means poor fuel economy. To sweep that image away, the engine and transmission development teams worked to improve fuel economy. The target was to achieve the same level of performance as a two-wheel drive vehicle of the same class. We equipped the new Forester with a new engine that offers superb fuel efficiency. That engine includes a Lineatronic CVT, which draws out maximum engine efficiency. Since we were already starting from a high level in this area, what we were able to do was pile on the refinements. We re-examined everything down to the smallest component, bench testing it all. We did everything that was expected to be effective. The result is a vehicle that performs astoundingly well everywhere from city streets to highways. Furthermore, it offers practical fuel economy that's at the top of its class. One of the biggest attractions of an SUV is the superiority of its ground-covering ability without selecting a field. For the new Forester, we developed the X mode, which further improves the already excellent ground-covering ability found in Subaru AWDs. The minimum ground clearance of an SUV is high enough to produce reliable ground-covering ability even on rough roads that sedan-type vehicles cannot enter. However, not everyone who drives an SUV is used to traveling on bad roads. And what's more, they may need to get out of them in an emergency. The new Forester is equipped with the X mode as a mechanism that can give those drivers an assist. You head out onto a field somewhere out into the wilderness, or you travel up a snowy mountain road on your way to a site for enjoying winter sports. What may be waiting for you is an unpaved road with a rough surface or steep, snow-covered uphill. Steep, unpaved roads that are slippery and the torque is not distributed evenly on all four wheels. Slopes so uneven that the tires hang in midair. Having to start on a slippery, snow-covered uphill. In situations like this, the possibility exists of getting stuck, even if you have an all-wheel drive. We developed the X mode so that in situations like that, anyone can flip a switch and get out of them safely and securely. Repeated testing took place on steep, unpaved uphills. The road surface changed with each test, worn away by the tires. We then put up rollers on the uphills to produce road surfaces that did not change. By using rollers, we forcefully spun the diagonal wheels of the car and created a situation harsher than ever to escape. We did repeated testing with the aim of using X mode to get out of even that situation reliably and in short order. For the average driver, steep descents are harder than steep ascents. On slippery roads, tires can easily lock up just from stepping on the brakes a little too heavily, and the car will slip in an unintended direction. Even in those situations, the X mode will maintain the speed the driver has set with one flick of the switch. Since they don't need to work the brakes, the driver can concentrate on steering. The average driver will step on the brakes when they feel even a little afraid. To keep them from doing so, we ran repeated tests to see whether X mode not only controlled speed, but also had a smooth operation that was not uncomfortable to the driver. Through those repeated tests, we honed the X mode into a mechanism with which any driver, regardless of skill, could press on with confidence. To develop a Forester that could be sent to any country in the world, it was necessary to maintain the kind of durability that could handle driving on any road anywhere. We have a test course with mock-ups of a variety of rough roads from around the world. The roads on that course are harsh for both car and driver so much that development drivers are not allowed to drive on them for more than 30 minutes at a time. We did several thousand kilometers of test driving on this course. We also reproduced an endurance test course with a test equipment called the Road Simulator, and then kept the vehicle on it for tens of thousands of kilometers, after which we checked to see what damage was done to the body and suspension. The endurance testing went on day in and day out for more than a month, putting it on par with the kind of performance that would enable an average driver to continue traveling on bad roads under various road conditions for 1 million kilometers. The crucial thing we have in mind when making a Subaru is to have a safe car that can be driven in secure confidence in any country. To achieve that, we simulate a variety of situations in our quest for safety from a variety of perspectives. The Forester is shipped all over the world to a variety of countries. Accordingly, we did testing that assumed all manner of weather conditions to make it a car that can be used with confidence in any environment. A car needs to be a partner you can rely on regardless of the situation. That's because a car alone could be the last thing you can count on the worse conditions become. Here you see our environment laboratory, in which we artificially produce temperature changes. We can create a world where the temperature ranges from 50 degrees Celsius to 40 below. We conducted tests to observe the car's performance by driving under contrastingly high and low temperatures. We continuously shine a special solar lamp to create a similar situation as to when a car has been left out for a long time under the sweltering sun. The outside temperature is pushed up to 40 degrees Celsius, raising the temperature in the cabin to 60 degrees. The car is driven under these conditions to evaluate its cooling performance. The radiator is hit with blasts of hot air. The conditions are difficult for both the engine and the air conditioner. Then we switch it all, creating a below freezing world where sprays of water freeze in a flash. The temperature is then lowered to 30 below, freezing everything. The engine was called upon to start right away, even under those conditions, and the defroster to operate normally. The vehicle was placed in a brutally cold environment and ran at 100 kilometers per hour. The temperature created by the chilling wind stood at minus 67 degrees Celsius. The conditions were such that a human could no longer remain in such a place. Even so, the engine had to continue to run without a hitch, and the interior had to remain comfortable. Testing also took place outside of the environment laboratory. This test took the car through a ditch filled to the brim with water. the situation we imagined was the unlikely event of a flood. Even in this deep ditch, the car could not get stuck partway through. This test studied the effects of salt. We repeatedly drenched the test car with the salt water and splattered anti-freezing compound on the road to check the effects. When winter comes in Japan, the development team heads for a test course at the country's northernmost point. This is the town of Bifuka in Hokkaido. It is an extremely cold place where they have recorded temperatures lower than 40 below. Various tests were conducted here in wintertime. The testing program ranged widely. Aside from the givens of checking drive performance on snow-packed roads and icy surfaces, we also checked brake performance, vehicle dynamics control, and X-mode performance. The effects of intense cold on the car, along with the snow sticking on the car when driving through slushy puddles. Our staff stayed through late spring until the snow melted, confining themselves in turns to the test course and running through numerous tests. No matter what efforts are made to keep accidents from happening, the possibility of one occurring cannot be reduced to zero. Subaru has worked hard to develop technology to effectively absorb an impact from any direction and keep damage to a minimum, to keep passengers and pedestrians safe in case of an accident. Subaru has been working on its own ever since the days when safety testing methods had yet to be established to independently create testing equipment and improve safety performance. The technology that has been produced as a result has been incorporated in the new Forester as well, and has won high praise in many countries in recent years. We design cars based on the high safety performance targets we set and then conduct impact simulations. Those results are then incorporated in the design. Then, we conduct a structure investigation and check performance with real car tests, a process we ran through countless times. The performance improvements made in impact simulations in recent years have been remarkable, and we are now able to do structure analysis on computers to very high levels. Even so, Subaru still smashed up several hundreds of cars before the new Forester made its appearance. Why? The reason is, Subaru has numerous tests on its own program, assuming real-world accidents that are not included in the various national safety tests. Additionally, our standards are quite strict. For example, we check to see if the doors can still open even if the body is warped from an impact. Subaru's own standard imagines rescuing the occupants. Being meticulous about safety is the way that Subaru does things. What do you think? What you have seen is no more than just a part of what went into developing the new Forester. We ran various other tests and experiments on the new Forester in the course of its development to come up with a car that can be driven with confidence anywhere in the world. We are confident in the quality of the new Forester and encourage our customers to try it for themselves.